Hello and good morning. It is a Sunday, it's really overcast. I'm next to a road, so there's a lot of traffic noise. But I've got a few things. I've got a battery ready to go, and I've got some tools in the cab. And I am off to go and take a look at a couple of old Volkswagens. I found a 72 Karmann Ghia in need of a lot of help, but it's for sale and the price is pretty good. And I noticed as well that they have what looks like a early 70s VW bus. So we're gonna go and check it out and see if they're willing to make a deal.
Just silly on your part.
Well, what is in store here? We have a few things that we need to line up. We've got to get it running. That's the key thing, and then we can tidy it up and make it look nice. So first up, we're going to see if it will start. In order to do this, we're just going to have to check over a couple of things. Does it have oil, spark, fuel, air, power? Well, we're going to find out. So let's get straight into this and begin. Alright, so full disclosure, this battery is from my 72 Bug. This is good, and I have plugged this in and the dash lights do come on, which is kind of cool. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to take this air filter piece off and the fuel line. I'm going to see what happens when I throw some fuel in here and try to crank it on, because it does crank under the key, which is kind of cool. So I'm just going to... here we go. Alright, and I'm just going to put that there. I don't believe it. That's amazing. This thing is sat for, I think, 20 years. Okay, I'm round here at the front because the seller did tell me that he thinks the gas tank is bad. So we're going to get these bolts off. I guess I have the wrong tool. But we're going to see, is there any kind of corrosion in here? And if not, I think it's time to just put some gas in it and see if it'll run off the tank. Because honestly, I think if everything's connected up, this is going to be all fine. Well, there sure is gasoline in there, but I think you'll agree that looks like varnish, so yeah, to one side. Oh, that's pretty nasty. See if I can't get a good look in there. I think we are done. All right, that is good progress. It is the next day, and we've established that there is no fuel going through the system here. This is not getting filled up. There's nothing there. So what we're going to do is we're going to disconnect the fuel line at the back here, and then we're going to try and siphon to see if there's any kind of gas coming through the system or if we have an issue further downstream. So that's what we're just going to do now. We check the lines, and now we just need to remove the fuel pump because I think this could be the problem. We've got gas coming in on the top, nothing coming out here, so I'm thinking it's going to be this. Just needs a little bit of a tune-up. So I've got a couple of wrenches, and we're just going to get this off. This is a 30mm, I think, and oh, that comes off nice and easy. So we'll just get this off. All right, let's see what we're working with. I'm hoping that this is nicely greased and it makes a squeaky noise when we give it a squeeze, but you never know. This seems okay. Gasket looks all right, and if I push it, oh yeah, that could sound better. We're gonna diagnose and see what the situation could be here. At least we know it's getting fuel, as you can see with that leak. Well, diagnosis. I think the fuel pump might actually not be the problem, so I'm just going to put this thing back in, hook it up, and give it another crank over. I've given it a little clean. Nothing intense, but it was a little bit sticky when it was going through the process of pumping. So I'm hoping that just freeing up the mechanism like that is enough to help get this thing home. Well, coming back here, let's see if it's the tank. Let's just clear some of this stuff and lift it up, give it a shake, and sort of see what's happening. All right, we've got, at this point, I've just removed the bolts here. So what I'm going to do now, there's a breather hose there, something here, and the fill hose here. So I'm just going to get these hose clamps loose and then try and disconnect them without breaking them, because that would suck. A bit tricky to get your fingers under this, but it will come. Okay, so spilled some gasoline. That's not great, but let's take a closer look underneath. Now, you see this shape? This is extremely unlikely. This is the other thing I'll be working on, but the gear comes first. I go into the toolbox here. There we go. There's a fuel tank in here. However, that is definitely the wrong tank. But that's fine. We can make the one we have work. It's kind of difficult to see, but I think that this is all blocked up. So we're going to clear this one up with a guitar string. This is where we leave it for tonight. It looks like the fuel line down here, the one poking out, also has sludge in it. So we need to clean out this entire hard line from here all the way to the back of the car. That is definitely a tomorrow project at the earliest. But hey, at least, you know, fuel tank is out. Hello, it is day 3, and we're doing some more stuff on the fuel system. I have a compressor set up, and I've just been squirting a bunch of air through the fuel lines with some carb cleaner, and we finally have something going through. So there is airflow, it seems to be mostly clean. So I think at this point, we're gonna hook up the gas tank again, hook up the hose there, and let's see if we get some gasoline going through the system and see if this thing will start on its own. It took a fair bit of wrestling, but we did get it in. Right now, let's hook up the battery and fail. Okay, friends, this is the setup. I've got a bottle here. We're going to be linking this up to this section here on the fuel line and around the front. What we're going to be doing is spraying brake cleaner into this line, and then we're going to hit it with the compressed air and just kind of rinse and repeat and see if we get anything flushing through to the other side. In addition, I'm going to be using a piece of wire that I've got to kind of just jimmy through on each side and see if we can not like loosen up some of the stuff. So we're going to get to that now. As you can hear, it's quite loud. Okay, this is my extremely sophisticated setup. We've got our guitar string here, and I'm basically just going to thread this in the fuel line here and just see if we can't address any potential clogs we've got further downstream. Just get that all the way into the end. Give it a little back and forth. Pull it on out, and doesn't actually look too bad. As a little bonus, we've got some music in the background. But yeah, I'll just take this one to show you. This is probably the worst piece. Wow, that is some quality recording. Oh wow, that is, yeah, that's not great. Oh, yuck. This is probably the most offending area. Yeah. All right, we're just gonna keep doing this, blast some air through and see what we can flush out. So what I'm hoping for is that in the bottle down here, we're gonna see some slurry come through. All right, we've got a little bit of something. Not much, but you should know that we're blasting through this. Right now we are finished with the compressor for the time being, but what we are going to do is replace these because these are kind of wrecked. So we've got some new fuel line. It's not the braided stuff, but it is good enough for ethanol based fuel. So I'm just going to cut some sections of that, get this all hooked up at the front and the back to replace the cracked lines, and then we're going to get the tank back in, fill it with fuel, and see has this fixed it. Okay, on a serious note, this is a pretty bad thing to happen, but I must admit I did laugh when I saw this footage back because this is dramatically bad. This is absolutely what you do not want to see. So don't do this. I couldn't see inside the car, but I'm glad that we caught this footage so you can know what not to do. Well, not the worst thing, but also pretty bad. This fuel filter is cracked. So it was leaking and we're just going to replace it with this new one. What do we do with old fuel lines? That's right, we put them where they deserve to be. Now that I've got all the stuff kind of sorted, I should probably unload this because there's a whole bunch of stuff inside it, like this rack, some rusty hubcaps, 2 pop-out windows with VW Man graphics, jumper cables, can't think why, a 2x4 painted white, no idea, another 2x4, trim piece for the door handle, and a dome light cover, other piece of said a scraper. This is going in the trash. More assorted things, including bungee cord and fuses. I think these are windshield trim pieces. Yeah, I think that's what these are. This one has tape on it. I have no idea why. A windshield. Another windshield. Assorted rubber mat. Broken. A door window and more trim. Another door window. Passenger side door card. Yucky condition. A small gas can. And one of these bamboo woven thingy. A box of parts just arrived. First up we have a flasher relay, a horn ring, a horn button, a horn relay, bunch of spark plugs, voltage regulator, door handles for a bus, and a replacement cylinder for a bus. And not to forget, some more fuses, always handy. This is the old voltage regulator, and the new one is now in. Let's test this. We've got it idling a little better than it was before. However, still seeing the same reading here of 24. 12.4. Oh God. And if we come up front, generator light is still on. So, a little bit more to do still, but at least we've got this. It is tire change day, and the greatest issue that I had was securing these 4 points. Now this is done. This is not going anywhere. This is, I think, 3/4 plywood, so nice and thick. We're going to be bead braking and hopefully not having too many hold-ups here, but we'll see how this goes. Who knew that being in the rain would make this so much harder? This is an hour later after I started. Finally the bead's off, so I can get the other attachment on and get the tire removed. Well, the tire's off. That took, honestly, about 30 seconds. And I just used the stick and not this red tool thing. All right, tire is set on the bead. Now we balance it. We are on the last one. I won't pretend the first wheel genuinely took me 3 hours to figure out breaking the bead. I'm just using a piece of 2x4 underneath this to give it some extra force. And then I had problems with the compressor, but now that's all sorted. So we're just gonna get this rim off. Sorry, we're just gonna get this tire off and then mount everything back. We might really go for a drive. Okay, I've got my hat on because this is still loose, but this is now the first time I'm going to be driving this with new tires. So let's see if it starts up. That's step one. Don't sound too bad. Sounds pretty loud, but you on the dashboard so you can maybe see some of this. First test drive, kind of successful. The only thing that went wrong is the fuel. Kind of wasn't feeding, so it cut out a couple of times as it came to a stop. But I think with a full gas tank, I reckon we've got a completely solid rider. So I'm pretty excited. I'm glad that everything went okay. And yeah, just very pleased overall. Culprit has been identified. This shouldn't be in two pieces. This piece should be straight. It should look a bit more like that. So we're going to replace it, put some more oil in, start the engine, and hopefully we're all okay. Attempt number 2, we're going to use one of these. with the nuts instead of springs. This should be more solid and better. It is installed. Let's head out to the front, turn it on, and let's see if the oil leak stops. It definitely needs some help, but we have no oil leaks. All that's left to do now, get it idling a bit better, and then we're good to take this thing on its first proper drive. Let's take this thing for a spin. See if it'll turn on. Teething problems. That's a slow idle, but that's an idle. Thread the needle, and just like that, we are home. That pretty much wraps it up for this. I'm really glad you could join me for the journey. Pop the handbrake on. And yeah, we won't be seeing too much of this because this needs to find a new home, because I am a bit more interested in getting this truck going. Have a good one, and thanks for watching.
We have to get a video for autumn.